It's dragged on for weeks, but with still no end in sight. As President Dmitry Medvedev plays host to gas-consuming countries for a crisis summit in Moscow, Kiev is holding a parallel and rather smaller version of its own.
The big difference with the Moscow summit is that Russia is moving toward establishment of a European consortium that would be able to purchase or share the risk of purchasing technical gas. And that's been one of the biggest issues so far forwarded by Ukraine throughout this transit conflict.
A fifth of Europe's gas comes from Russia through Ukraine. 18 countries have either run out or are running low on the vital fuel. Households are suffering without heat in severe winter weather. Businesses and plants have been forced to shut down. Millions of citizens affected has made this a political crisis in the European Union.
If the gas doesn't flow again, we will have to look point by point at our relations with Russia, with Ukraine, and assess in each case whether we can continue to do business as usual under these circumstances.
Though Kiev has blocked the pipes to Europe, Russian gas provider Gazprom keeps pumping to the border. Moscow is forging forward with alternative supply routes to bypass Ukraine, but not in time to avoid trouble now. The Nord Stream pipeline under the Baltic Sea to Germany, opposed by Poland and bypass states, it's getting a warm welcome from others.
The biggest support for Nord Stream project comes not only from Russia, but from the largest European consumers, namely Germany, Austria, and some of the other states within Europe. Russia does have sufficient gas to supply Nord Stream, and that should essentially cover up to 50% of gas which is currently being transited or not transited at the moment through Ukrainian territory.
South Stream is still only at the drawing board. This pipeline will carry gas under the Black Sea and across the Balkans. Gazprom has Bulgaria, Serbia and Italian energy giant Eni on board.
The South Stream pipeline project remains a priority. I think Europe has realized the need to set up alternative routes to deliver gas from Russia.
But South Stream competes with Nabucco, the pipeline designed on paper to bypass Russia and backed by the US and the EU. It's intended to bring Caspian Sea gas to Europe via Turkey. In theory, it should carry gas from Turkmenistan, but most of this is already contracted to Russia and China. Another possible source for Nabucco gas, Azerbaijan, is also in talks with Russia.
So we're talking about an enormous project running into billions of dollars that essentially has no gas supplies.
Nabucco was conjured up as a project to reduce Russian energy influence. This is now more of a pipe dream as the sources of its gas lead back to Russia. Europe and Central Asia's future gas pipeline network remains to be completed. Kiev may hold a blocking stake at the moment, but this is merely giving full flow to plans for alternatives, which will leave Ukraine and not millions in Europe out in the cold. Alexandra Kasharnitskaya.